This is an Iwebu production.
Period.
Moving forward, one of my favorite podcasts is Social
Outside
Proof.
of ours.
Outside of ours,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. It's Social Proof Podcast. And recently, this is with David Shands and Donnie Wiggins. And also on this one, they had a special guest, Neo. And they got into speaking about just being in relationships and abuse. And it spiraled into really talking about how some people were pressured in certain situations. I want y'all to check out this clip right here.
I've experienced emotional abuse and sexual abuse, and somebody
Explain the. Are you saying like you were
How
raped?
old are you? Because you
or
look like you like 18.
I'm 24.
Okay.
Yeah,
are you saying like in a sexual abuse in a relationship or?
I wasn't in a relationship with him. He was a guy. He asked me to be his Valentine, and then he thought he could get
That one time though, it wasn't like continuous.
Yeah, it was the one time.
Can I ask? I'm sorry, but how did it happen? You gotta be too graphic, but like what happened? Where were we? What was the scenario?
Well, we went out for Valentine's Day, and we weren't dating or anything. It was more so like we were just getting to know each other. Like we were in the beginning of like getting to know each other, and so we had hung out before. So after Valentine's Day, he wanted to like watch some movies at his place, but we had watched movies before. Like nothing ever happened. And so then it was like he just assumed because you went on a date with me for Valentine's Day and you got on this dress or whatever, or I don't know. But he kept just asking me like trying to get me to have sex with him, and I kept saying no, like over and over and over. And then like he just started trying stuff, and because it's like already hard for me to say like no, it just was kind of like, okay, just get it over with. And so yeah. But
Oh my gosh.
I think every woman has experienced the feeling of, how do I just get this over with?
yeah.
Might not have gone through with it, but we receive so much pressure as women by men, such immature beings that will, like, one of the sexiest traits of a man that understands a woman's word is her bond. A no means no. Like if we're in an intimate setting, I don't care how far I got with you, no is no. Don't try 15 minutes later, offer me another glass of wine, turn on another movie, think of a foot massage is going to lead to a booty rub and all of this stuff. No is no. And most women that are grown women have dealt with a man who has tried too long, too hard, too many times, and don't think you playa and you just got game and eventually you're going to wear her down. What you've done is put her in a very uncomfortable situation where now she's a little scared. She's very uncomfortable, and it's like, just get it over with. Yeah. Especially if you're dealing with a passive young girl who may have already experienced something in her life. You don't know what her history has given her. And now she's in a situation where she's afraid to go for the door. She's stuck, she's stunned, she's shocked. Like, guys, no is just no. It's just no. You did not wear her down. You were not a player.
We're not judging, right?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it depends.
I feel bad. I'm like just flashback over my life where maybe I've been like persistent, and eventually they say okay.
Yeah.
Right? You might be in that mode, or like you're at it. I've never been like an aggressive person, like just like, no, let's go. Like, but you're in the mode and they're there and you're gonna attempt, and eventually in your mind you think, oh well, they really wanted it. They were just playing hard to get or whatever. But maybe I was persistent. And like when she said it, I'm like, it wasn't about being aggressive. You're almost like pestering.
It's
like,
pestering.
let's just like, come on. And eventually, and I never even thought, and I pray that none of those people, and it hasn't happened often, but I can remember a couple times, I pray that it wasn't all right, I don't feel comfortable and he's not going to stop.
You were a whole thought out here.
No, I wasn't.
I mean, because you went to like the chest clutch. Like
Yeah,
I
man,
pray
'cause I felt- I
that
just-
none of you girls
I felt so bad in that
from
moment.
Shan's past.
And I thought I was just so smooth. Like,
You thought you were smooth and a player, but it's like, you know, people will wear, and somebody's looking at this and they're gonna say, no, you know, if you're uncomfortable, just leave. You don't know people's history.
Yeah.
You don't know what they experienced that makes, like, what if when she was a little girl, she tried to escape an uncle who it would have gone from just going with it to now you got beat and it was brutal and it was violent, you know. So you don't know what that person dealt with, and I'm sure nobody felt that way, because there's a little difference between a light persistence and aggressiveness.
Whoa. Yeah, that was pretty heavy. A pretty heavy conversation.
Yeah.
So babe, I want to shoot it to you. What do you think about this? Is this something that many women go through?
Yeah.
Have you heard about these experiences or have experienced it yourself?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I watched it, I immediately could think of an instance of mine for sure. And I kind of always knew it was a thing, like men, like, and not sexual assault. But like women being in situations where it's like, dang, I came over here. It's like 1 a.m. Like, yeah, he think he about to get some. Let me just, you know, it's an awkward situation. I didn't drive. He picked me up. Like, how do I get out of
That
this?
one right there.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, yeah, let's get this over with. It ain't gonna be too long anyways. You know, like just kind of push past it. And so I immediately thought of a relationship. I mean, it was a situationship or whatever. And it was so surprising because this guy was a believer and he was a man of God and he was known, you know, at least in the community that I was in. And I knew his people. Like I knew everyone. We were all kind of in the same community, so it was a trust there. And then also prior, I don't have dating experience, let me just say that. Like I dated someone in high school up until my first year in college, and then I dated 2 guys and then Namdi. So like it's very short experiences. I was just like, oh, he's a great guy, you know. And so I really like this guy, and again, a man of God, so I trusted him. But I remember he came to pick me up, and he happened to like been leaving an event, and I was just young and just like, oh my gosh, he had a little name for himself or whatever. So I was like, wow, this is whatever. Pulls up and picks me up, and we drive kind of down the street into like a neighborhood. It was kind of a dark area, and I remember we're talking, and it just, everything was about sex. Like it was just, he was very aggressive. Mind you, my red flag should have been that our first phone call, he showed me his penis print. That should have been the first red flag. Like the first ever FaceTime call was him showing me himself. Mind you, I'm like, this is a man of God. Like, whoa, this is crazy. And so, yeah, we're in the car and he's like, you know, just being aggressive, just being, not even like, you know how dudes can be smooth and it just happens. No, this was like, you know, just kind of weird. And I remember being creeped out. And I'm like, I feel like if he was even remotely caring about the person that I was, he would have saw that I was like, it was a little weird. Like, it wasn't like I was like, boy, stop. It was like, bro, like, chill. So I ended up going back to my friend's house. And I remember telling them, I'm like, that was a little weird or whatever. Moved on, you know, still talking to him. And we ended up linking up again, and it was about sex again. And it just, there was no real depth in this conversation. Like, and now being an adult, looking back, I'm like, dang, we didn't talk about much. Like that wasn't nothing. But the same thing, like he's picking me up and just being really aggressive and really assertive, and didn't end up doing anything that time either. I was just like, bro, chill. Like, again, chill out. And yeah, the last time was another very aggressive time, a very pushy time. It was just like, now looking back, everything that led up to it was a very pressured, like, this sexual moment is gonna happen, you know. And so definitely it was something that I absolutely 0% enjoyed nothing about it. I mean, I don't enjoy anything of my past and my sin, but like that specific person in that situation was something that it gave a saltish, you know, like I didn't say no, but I also, well, I did say no actually, but I participated because of let's get it over with, you know? And so I definitely feel that. And yeah, even when we watched this originally, I was just like, you know, I was kind of like coming to my awareness of it. I'm like right with Namdi, I'm like, wow, that actually did happen to me. And I remember feeling so used and just like I was just that, you know, and yeah, I just, in that situation, that was probably and I tell Namdi this, I'm like, that was my biggest regret of a relationship because I knew it was nothing but that. And I felt pressure to give him that too.
Yeah, it was heavy when I was listening to this.
Yeah.
And
I thought you was about to say me. I'm like,
no, well, that was heavy too. I mean, just to hear about that experience. I mean,
did it make you mad?
It definitely. I mean, first off, you know, this is why I say, if everybody could be virgins before they get it, that would be amazing. If you and your partner never had anybody but each other, man.
Yeah.
That is so dope. I, even as a man, wish I never slept with the women that I slept with.
Yeah.
Like once I really figured out what I had done and just the mess. And so first thing I thought of, I related with Shan's. I was like, wow, well, I've been in situations where I was persistent probably, like, but I don't think, like, probably maybe I could think of maybe a couple times. The only thing about mine is I didn't actually get the win. Like, it was just, after a while, if a girl say no, I don't want to, like, I just, you know, after a while, it's just like I didn't put my moves, I didn't try this, I didn't try that. That usually worked. Okay, well, forget it then. But I walked away from those situations feeling like really stupid. Like real stupid, like dang, she probably gonna be like, he was way great. You know,
As
that
you
ain't
should.
even me. Yeah, and I should have.
Yeah, you should
And still
feel
to this
really
day, and I
dumb.
thought about it, I'm like, dang, I was really persistent. I cannot recall at least somebody I was persistent with that maybe felt like that. But
Yeah. You
then
never
again,
know.
I never know. And so I
Yeah.
pray and I hope, you know, if I've ever done something like that with anybody, it was just like, shoot, well,
Yeah.
he came and got me. It's like,
Well,
forget it.
You know, the scary thing is a lot of times that's like in relationships. Like it's not like a one night stand. It's somebody like, even with my situation, like first of all, we were young. Let me just say that it was real babyish. But I was like considering myself to dating this guy. So a lot of times y'all won't know, but like because we're dating. So it's like, oh, you my girl. Like, yeah, bend over, get it, let's get it done. It's like, no, even if she's your girl, and we're, first of all, yes, we're talking about sin right now. So if the real holy deep ones, we are talking about that.
Yeah.
But you know, when you are dating someone and you guys are intimate, a lot of times the man think just simply off the fact that that's my girl, she's gonna always be okay with having sex. Sometimes she's not. Sometimes she's not feeling it. Like I probably had sex many times and didn't want to, like, you know, that's a very, very, very normal thing.
That's crazy.
And it's crazy, but it's also scary at the fact that, especially like a woman like me, that I'm very like, you can't really get over on me. Like I'm not a scary person, but in a intimate setting with someone that you really like, Lord forbid, someone you really love, and you like, dude, I said no, like, all right, come on. And the sad thing is, like, a woman will be watching TV while y'all doing it, and the man is just so in a zone. And it's so scary how men can kind of just turn off. It's creepy.
Yeah, it is. Just to even think about it, and if with that guy being like that, more than likely, and unfortunately, especially many men when we're young, it's just really trying to get that notch on your belt. Like, oh yeah, I did that. You know, he probably was, and unfortunately, babe, I'm so sorry, but the reality is he probably ran his mouth because he just wanted to feel like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, she gave it. You know, and that's what
And
a lot,
the crazy
and it
thing
turns
is-
into barbershop talk, because I've been in the barbershops, ladies.
And if the woman has salon talks, because men be having barbershop talks saying who they smashed. If the woman was to tell on y'all and how y'all don't be lasting long, it was horrible. We were not lubricated. We did not enjoy it. We were dry because we felt like we were getting assaulted. That's the truth of it. Men be bragging on getting notches on their belt for assaultish type of sex moments. You know what I'm saying? So if that dude did, and of course he did. Like, yeah, because I also when I say I was not going from dude to dude to dude. If you saw a dude on my arm, that meant like, oh, I really think something about this situation. In that situation, I feel like it was just more infatuation type of thing, like just who he was, and people knew him, and whatever, we matched in a way of what we did. But all in all, like, yeah, men do be bragging, but y'all, like, not y'all, men also be giving very I know I can't say this word, so assaultish vibes. It be very aggressive and creepy and scary. And so again, a lot of times this type of stuff thrives, like this girl said, I don't know her name, the young lady, in relationships. Like, you be dating a dude and you just like, gosh, like, that's all you gonna talk to me about my middle name. Like, you know, and so this is also why I want to encourage, because I ignored red flags. Our first conversation on a FaceTime, the first ever time I spoke to this young man, I'm seeing his print. That's a problem. That's a red flag. That is someone with no self-control. You know what I'm saying? And don't be like me and just push past these red flags because he got money, because he got a good family, because he's a man of God. Like, no, don't do it, because you'll end up in a situation adding a body that did, oh my God. I hate it that he ever had the opportunity to be in my presence.
Yeah, it's sad, and I think that what we should also take from the young lady and also your story is that, like, you know, because I think what happens is a lot of times women, you're just lonely. You just don't got nothing else to do. So this is why we say, hey man, get in godly community. Man, serve with your local team at your church. After that, man, hang out with some other single sisters that's also keeping themselves. Because, you know, you'll end up doing this for the sake of just not being lonely.
Yeah.
Now you didn't went to his house and all that, and you didn't add it to the body count just because you didn't want to stay at home and watch Netflix by yourself. Just because you didn't want to sit and watch a book or watch a series or whatever the case may be. So get in more of community of other people doing this. This will help you, encourage you to stay within that lane and not end up in these pressure situations where you're making lifelong regrets. Go ahead.
And then can we please encourage the men to like have some type of self-control and awareness?
For sure.
Like,
yeah.
please.
Man,
like, yes.
Hey, listen.
Because like, I got y'all, because no, even if I do go to your house and if I am uncomfortable and I'm making it clear and I'm like, nah, like, you know a difference from, please, no, stop. Then like, no, I'm no, for real. Like, you should be able, like, pray for discernment. Don't be a weirdo.
Well, I mean, I don't know, discernment can go within that situation too much, because they both be, I mean, it's a flesh situation.
It's a flesh situation,
But
but
at
you
the
also
same
don't
time,
want
he
to.
should- you don't want to ever.
Like, no, don't make
Yeah.
excuses for these men, because
Yeah,
they'll be out here doing
they
weirdo,
don't.
assaultish type of ways.
definitely-
Like, no, be a grown man. Like, it is not that deep. It'll be a girl that would gladly say yes to you. But if you see a woman, I'm sorry I had to cut you off, because I'm like, no, even if she does go to your house and watch Netflix, she should not be pressured into having sex with you. Like, it's just, you should feel a vibe between, and if you don't feel a vibe, like, if a woman I'm just here, let me just tell you, if you lack discernment, if she continuously tells you no, it means no.
Let it go.
Like, let it go. Like, just know there's a difference from like, oh my God, no, you are crazy. Then like, you can tell it's it's discomfort. So I just want to say that, like, I'd rather please speak more towards the men than like, yes, women, don't be so bored that you pulling up. Cause unfortunately you do kind of gotta have the thinking of a man like, what time is it? It's 1 a.m. She pulling up for Netflix. Okay, but like, still have self-control.
I mean, and just men really also just be confident. Like it speaks to your confidence when you're like, oh, okay, no, all right. And to be honest with you, unfortunately, that would attract them more. I mean,
For sure.
especially like that's also kind of a reverse trait right there.
Yeah.
As you even seen, I don't know if we got that part.
If
of,
you're
of
not
Donnie
so-
saying that, you know, she actually that actually attracts him when it's like, oh, okay, he's cool. Like one of the things that with us is that you was over, but I didn't pressure you. I said when you was over, like before anything happened.
Yeah.
Oh wow, and nothing happened. We just
Yeah.
talked. I didn't pressure you.
No.
I didn't. None of that. And
You
I want-
claimed that I was the pursuer.
you definitely was pursuing. You had to let me know that, hey, I really like you.
So did you
and
feel
should-
pressured into having sex with me?
In a way, I did. Actually, I did. I don't want to tell him what you did, how you made your move on me. But
There are no
yeah,
entertainment
we
for
can't-
the people.
We can't say.
No, I'm saying
Then
no.
I was like, oh, she really likes me.
Babe,
She's
don't
gonna-
entertain these people. Are you kidding? You felt pressured into having sex with me.
I mean, I felt like you just made it like, hey, listen, I really like. No, you didn't. You
Okay.
didn't pressure me, but you.
Okay.
I did feel.
I mean,
very,
you can
very
say-
soft after. Like you was after me.
Baby,
You was,
I was like, pull your pants down now.
no, you wasn't like that, but you was like, hey, listen, get the note. For y'all don't know, she left a note on my car of her album cover. Let me know.
You think that's a really big deal?
Have a nice day. I was like, oh.
So that pressure you into feeling like you
Sweet
need to have
on
sex with me.
Young. Girl, you like it was good. I mean, before then, I was like, okay, we're just friends. I don't want to make no, I don't want to be, listen to her about past relationships, church
I did
stuff.
not talk to you about past
Oh,
relationships.
no, you didn't.
I'm
But I was
not
talking. You was
that
talking about more about church stuff, family
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy, especially because also, like I said, I'm just not. I represent, man and brother at church. I don't want to come off wrong.
Yeah,
None
you
of
were
that.
a
I
very
just-
safe place for me.
yeah, I didn't want to do any of that. I knew I was holding a banner as a leader too, so
Yeah.
it was really one of those things. But when you saw that, I was like, oh, she liked me.
Nandi is crazy, y'all.
And then you did even more things after that. They put the icing on the cake, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because, like what you said, unfortunately, like a man. I mean, you wasn't playing hard to get, but you weren't not playing hard to get. You were just not there. Like your mind wasn't thinking about sex. Like we were just really chilling
Trying
together.
my best not to even go there. I didn't want you to even feel like I was on that.
And I feel like I was being very intentional about being that way too. Because when I came to your house, I looked a mess all the time.
Hey, listen.
I
the
had on
brother
sweat.
who at that
Baby,
time
I had on
been abstaining,
sweatpants, y'all. I
you
had on
looked
sweatpants,
amazing.
a t-shirt, and a hat. That's usually
Hey, I was
because I worked a very masculine job, and I was just like very more chill back then. So I like had on sweatpants, like big tees, and I also was intentional about not showing my body off too. I'm like, no, this is my friend, so you don't need to see how big my booty is or nothing.
yeah. We'll talk about other things later.
What do you want to talk about?
Anyway,
What are you
man,
talking about?
Nothing. I'm just saying. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still. I mean, you still look good to me. It's still
Aw,
very
thanks, babe.
attractive.
You can say that.
So
You thought I was very attractive back then?
yeah, I thought you was
In my
very,
sweatpants and stuff?
Yes, sweat shows even more.
It
of
does?
the curves. Yes, it does. Sweat show
do
even
y'all
more of
agree
the
with that?
curves. Yes.
Well, men don't answer, actually. I mean, you can,
Yeah,
but
so
that's funny.
yeah, at the end of the day,
He
we try
said I
to tell
pressured
them,
him.
listen,
Oh my
don't listen. You can see our
Oh,
old story.
no, you were
Don't do
talking
what we
about,
did eventually.
You were talking about how, like, doing the opposite. First of all, doing the opposite, like, not being hungry, like, it'll attract them more. But not even just that. Like, you just seem less of a weirdo. Like, you
definitely.
just seem less of a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like, chill. Like, if she... I hate that this feels like we're talking about sin, but we have to fully speak about this
Be
subject.
real.
Like, we just got to be
because
real.
most of the people that's gonna get married, I'm sorry,
They've already done it, yeah. But yeah, like if you are trying to do that, like in our situation, like you don't want to be in sin, but you want, if you do it, for both of y'all to be participating.
Consensual.
Yeah,
Like,
consensual. Like, I mean, well, even it's in a certain degree. So just don't be a weirdo.
Don't want to be a
man.
weirdo because even when the ones I think of when I might have been persistent,
They marked you as a
didn't end
weirdo.
Yeah, I'm like, dang.
You are a weirdo in their mind.
What's the name? Who maybe hooked us up? He probably told me I was being really a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not even that. Like,
Definitely
I'm
like, dang.
like, dang, she didn't get to. Now we can't even. Ain't no second.
That's
second
a
time.
turn off.
or
I'm just
anything.
letting y'all know, like, especially
Yeah.
as a woman, like marriage, all of it, like the vibe that we need mentally, like they always say, a man is a microwave, a woman is an oven. You gotta preheat, you gotta season us, you gotta marinate the meats, you gotta do all the things. But when you just trying to eat the meat, it's like that is
If he
wrong.
doing that,
Like, wait, hold on. Like, give me a moment to think about this. Where I'm at. Do I like you? Like, what is this? Because it can get really weird really fast. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I can think of like not even just me, like friends that have told me, like, girl, God.
Yeah, and if he's doing that, lady, hey, you're more than likely he just need to get you on the belt. Shoot, he might actually got a woman and he just want to get that real quick so he can kind of feel like I did that and get back to who he really
Definitely
was.
my
So,
situation.
yeah, I'm telling you. So I've been around there and seen that. So yeah, again, heavy situation.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that situation that you heard about there from the young lady with Social Proof? What do you think about even TK's situation there? We would love to hear from you down in the comments below. Hey, thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you could do us a huge favor, please hit that like button and please subscribe.
Yes, and please do not forget to hit that notification bell. We need y'all to be locked in every single time we drop this fire content.
Yeah.
Also, we need y'all to follow us on all social media platforms at the Ewables. And look, we will see y'all on the next video.
Holla.